Happy birthday, Frankie! Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and once again, I'm here to recap the night that was in NHL playoff hockey. And last night, we had Game 2 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers. After 14 goals in game number 1, I was very curious to see what we were going to get here in game number 2. Especially since starting goaltender for the Colorado Avalanche, Darcy Kuemper, was ruled out for the game. Pavel Francouz, aka Frankie, had to come in and be the starter, and today is his 32nd birthday. So once again, happy birthday, Frankie. And he must have really wanted to celebrate that birthday. But let's just talk about the goals that were scored. This is not going to take nearly as long as the last video did. First period, no goals. On to the second period. 3 minutes and 58 seconds into the second period, the Avs try to break into the offensive zone, but a missed pass ends up with the puck being on the Edmonton defender's stick, but a very strong forecheck from Artturi Lehkonen turns the puck over. Mikko Rantanen is able to pick up the puck on the left wall and sends a small backhanded pass right on over to Nazem Kadri, who was breaking into the zone. Naz just rips the puck toward the net from the top of the left circle, but the goal is not his, because Artturi Lehkonen had cut to the front of the net and he got a redirection on that puck. Artturi Lehkonen is on the board, 1-0 Avalanche. It definitely looked like Kadri's goal at first, but the replay showed that it was just a very, very nice redirection. So Lehkonen's hard work on the forecheck paid off. They got on the board, where in the first period, it didn't look like either team was going to score. They had their chances, but the goaltenders were up to it. But 15 seconds later, 4 minutes and 13 seconds into the second period, the Avalanche win the faceoff. After that goal was scored, Johnson dumps the puck into the zone. It ends up on the Edmonton stick again, but again a strong forecheck from Artturi Lehkonen turns the puck over as Mikko Rantanen is in on the board battle on the left wall. It pops out to Lehkonen, who sends it over to Kadri once again, and from the left wing side, Nazem Kadri sends that puck over to the right point to Josh Manson. Manson walks up to the top of the right circle, winds up that slap shot, and in the puck goes 2-0 Avalanche in 15 seconds. Once again, you blink and you're gonna miss goals. Then nearly 2 minutes later, 6 minutes and 2 seconds into the second period, the Edmonton Oilers get a puck toward Francouz's net, but he doesn't want it there, so he shoots it over to the right boards. Landeskog is able to pick up the puck. He sends it up the right boards to Nazem Kadri, who breaks into the offensive zone, who is basically in on a 2-on-1 with Mikko Rantanen. Darnell Nurse is the Edmonton defender back, and this time Kadri did not elect to shoot. He elected to pass from the top of the right circle over to Mikko Rantanen, who placed that puck perfectly over the pad and under the blocker of Mike Smith. 3-0 Avalanche. And Mikko Rantanen scores on a goaltender again. All he had to do was face Mike Smith, and now he's on a roll. 2 goals in 2 games. Gotta love him. And 3-0 is how this game went into the second intermission. On to the third period. 15 minutes and 20 seconds into the third period, the Colorado Avalanche were on a power play. Mike Smith lost his glove after making a stop, but the Avs were able to get control of the puck. Rantanen retrieved the puck in the right corner and sent it behind the net, but it went to an Edmonton defender. They tried to clear the puck out of the zone, but one of the Oilers players at the right point fell over. I believe it was Zach Hyman. Cale Makar, seeing this, probably just laughed at the Oilers. He stole the puck away, kept it in the zone, sent it over to Nathan MacKinnon, who was hanging out in the left circle. Nathan MacKinnon just ripped that one-timer into the net, short side on Mike Smith, who did not have a glove. 4-0 Avalanche. How is the play allowed to continue if a goaltender doesn't have a glove? What if they shoot glove side? Tough luck, I guess. Because it's not like when a goaltender loses their mask, it is up to the officials. And when a goaltender loses their mask, it is also up to the officials whether or not to blow the play dead, which that is just silly. But some goaltenders really make a point of knocking their helmet off. Doesn't happen very often. So usually when the mask comes off, the play is blown dead. But should they lose their blocker or their glove, then it's usually not blown dead, and that's what happened here. Mike Smith went palms up after the goal went in, but tough luck, buddy, that's a goal. And that is how the game ended. 4-0 Avalanche. Pavel Francouz, the backup, the day before his 32nd birthday, came into this game and got a shutout. A 24-save shutout. Not too bad. The Oilers didn't put too much pressure on him, but he did have to come up with some big stops and some timely stops, once again, just like how we had talked about in Game 1 when he came on in relief. And now somebody is mowing their lawn, so if you hear a lawnmower in the background, I am very sorry. I will try to reduce the noise on it, so hopefully you don't hear it, but thought I'd let you know. But really, even though the Avs scored 4 goals in this game, both goaltenders played very well. Colorado had 40 shots on goal, and Mike Smith only allowed 4. Of course, 3 of those coming under 3 minutes in the second period. But everybody's gonna have a breakdown at some point, right? As the game was winding down, Edmonton was really trying to rough up the Avs, you know, quote unquote, send a message. Thankfully, there were no injuries to Avs players, but earlier in the game, Kyler Yamamoto of the Edmonton Oilers did leave the game with an upper body injury after an open ice hit by Gabriel Landeskog. By NHL standards, that is a legal hit, so I doubt Landy faces any supplemental discipline. It wasn't a penalty on the ice. And again, we could sit here all day and debate about what should be allowed and what should be an illegal hit. And I've said it many times myself, any contact with the head should be an automatic major. So I understand Oilers fans being upset with that play because Yamamoto was injured, but in the NHL, that is a legal hit. One thing that was a lot different in this game compared to the first for the Avalanche is the defense was fantastic. Josh Manson, after having a very rough first game against the Oilers, came out in this one. He got a goal. He had a huge shot block with the inside of his foot, which just had to hurt. But guess what? He was on his goaltender's stick side when he made that block. I'm so proud. The Avs must have finally tuned in to watch my videos and me yelling about their stick side defenders. But jokes aside, the defense looked really, really good last night for Colorado. And I believe that tone was set in the first minute of the game. Connor McDavid broke into the offensive zone down the right wing. He was one-on-one with Cale Makar, and there were a lot of tweets coming into this series like, we get to see McDavid versus Cale Makar. How is this gonna go? So I saw this play developing and I got really excited. I was like, how is this gonna go? And just when it looked like Connor McDavid was going to beat Makar and skate around him and be able to cut to the net, Makar pivoted from skating backward to going forward and just effortlessly poke-checked the puck away from Connor McDavid, and he did not get a scoring chance. That may not have been the sexiest play of the game, but it was my favorite because, again, I think it really set the tone for this game. That play right there showed that Edmonton wasn't just going to be allowed to do whatever they set out to do, like maybe they did against Calgary, and they did at times in Game 1 against the Avs. But in this one, Cale Makar was like, not today, Connor. And it was only 1 minute into the game, but it was impressive. Honestly, that may have been Cale Makar's best game of the playoffs so far. He did get on the score sheet with an assist on Landeskog's goal, but he was just so tuned in defensively, and his gaps were good, his awareness was good, and they showed this on the post-game show, but he was really communicating with his defensive partners and his teammates on the ice, like telling them where to go and shutting down the play for the Oilers, so they really didn't get many chances. Oh, it was just so good to watch. I'm so happy for Cale that he came out and had that type of defensive game. Called him out in the video for the first game, saying that he's supposedly a defenseman. Cale Makar is a defenseman. And good for Josh Manson, man. Game 1 was tough. He was on the ice for 4 goals against, and was pretty much responsible for them. So great bounce back game from him. And then Pavel Francouz, what more can you say about the guy? A shutout the day before his birthday in a playoff game against the Edmonton Oilers, a team that put up 6 goals in game 1. I told y'all if he gives the Avs just average goaltending, it's already going to be better than what they've had so far. So we all hope that Darcy Kuemper recovers and is feeling better soon, but in the meantime, I think they are in good hands with Frankie. But if he wants to stay like in his crease and not make so many stops from like the middle of the ice, that would be cool. In hindsight, it was very fun last night because it worked, but maybe cut down on that a bit. Oh, Francouz is very adventurous, but that's why we love him, right? But that's going to be it for me in this video. If you're an Avs fan, how you feeling? If you're an Oilers fan, how you feeling? Let me know down in the comments. The series now shifts back to Edmonton for games 3 and 4, so we'll have to see what happens there. But if you want to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. There's links to all the places you can find us over there. If you want to follow along on social media, you can go ahead and do that. All of the links to those platforms are down in the description. Also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, go ahead and do that and give this video a like. That would make me so happy. But all of that being said, thank you all so very much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's see what happens when this series goes up to Canada, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.